Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Ins and Outs with Lynn and Liam.
Hey,
It's good
Liam.
to see you all again. Hey Lynn, it's good to see you again. It's been a while.
Yeah, a whole 2 weeks.
I know, crazy. How was last week for you?
It was good, although I recorded it and I can't figure out how to upload it. So people are going to get 2 episodes this week because I'm going to solicit your help.
Nice, excellent. That'll be fun. Double trouble. And Tamika was probably awesome. I can't wait to watch it.
Tamika is different because like she says more explicit-y things like,
Yeah, then you and me.
and, which is weird because you say pretty explicit things. And so sometimes in the conversation, I'm like, oh my goodness, am I going to say this on YouTube? But then I did it.
Excellent. Nice. It's always fun to push our boundaries as far as we're comfortable pushing them.
Yeah, plus we know that the people who watch this are great and won't judge us if we say interesting things.
Yeah, all 16 of you are just really awesome.
Love you all. Thank you. So thankful.
All right, so this week we have again some more awesome articles. I'm gonna go first this week, and we are talking about this new show on Stars. Is your lighting okay?
I was worried you could hear the air conditioner.
Yeah, I feel you. I wish I had air.
Right, I was trying to be discreet about it, but I clearly was like, here, let me show you my my tricep. Okay, we're talking about Stars.
No worries. So this week my article is all about this new show on Stars called P Valley, which is a show about a strip club in California, and the writer of it also wrote a movie called Hustler, which I've never seen, but supposedly is about sex work and really displays sex workers in a really like positive, like abstract manner, unlike the regular like portrayal of sex workers where it's just there for like comedy, or it's there for just like moving a scene along, or it's there just for like people being naked. She actually builds like depths into her sex worker characters, which is a really nice, refreshing way to see these people in this industry. And so this is okay. Oh, so I'm sorry. It's not based in California. It's based in Atlanta, Georgia, Hot Atlanta, which in the South, I guess they actually have this like really interesting culture when it comes to strip clubs, which I had no idea about. But the woman who wrote this whole thing was talking about how like she would go to strip clubs like with friends and family, and how it was like a social affair, not just for like stripping, which kind of reminded me of Portland, because I don't know if you know this, but in Portland they have like strip clubs everywhere, more strip clubs than people, I think. And they even like they serve dinner at these strip clubs, and there's like drive-through strip clubs and stuff. So there's strip club culture all over the place.
You should probably disclose that you live very close to a strip club.
I do also, yeah. I live close to a strip club. I am very for people in the sex work industry, except like at 4 o'clock in the morning when they're being a little too loud outside.
When I was in college, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
we would go to strip clubs all the time, and we not me personally, but we would have friends who would do like amateur night. Do you know that there's like a thing called amateur night?
Mm-hmm.
And so like when I read that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of like my college experience. Like some of my classmates would be going to amateur night and we would go to like support them on their endeavors. So I think it's really interesting.
Definitely. I've had a few friends who work in the sex work industry, both as strippers and as more explicit sex workers. And my friend who did stripping, she actually stripped at the Colony, and she got her job there because she went for amateur night one night, and they were like, "Oh, you're really awesome," and they gave her a job.
Yeah, I do like the Colony.
Yeah, it's a nice place. It's got a really wide array of strippers. They dance to a lot of great different music.
You cannot bring your winter coat though, because then you'll have to get it dry cleaned afterwards.
Yeah. You can smoke inside the Colony, so it's very
inside.
smoky.
The casino and the Colony, 2 places you don't wear your winter coat because the dry cleaning is too expensive.
Yeah. So what I just found out, or not just found out, but like a week ago, the Colony reopened.
Oh.
Yeah, and I haven't been in yet, so I don't know like how it works, but I'm really interested to see.
Yeah, I wonder what the lap dance policy is.
Yeah, or like what the like because Cuomo is making everybody order food now. Are they starting to offer food again at the colony?
I've never had colony food.
When I was a kid, they used to have food there. Not that I knew when I was a kid, but yeah, they used to have food there when I was a kid.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
have you watched the show? Is it on yet or no?
It is on. I have not watched it. I don't have Stars, so I can't. I'll probably like wait for it to come to like Netflix or something. But like the really great thing about it is that like she just researched like the stripper culture for like 6 years. She like interviewed over 40 strippers. She had her like birthday party in the locker room of a strip club. Like she just really immersed herself in this culture, and talked really in depth about like the different like kinds of strippers. Because I feel like a lot of times when we talk about strippers and we talk about them in like a positive aspect, we're always like, oh, well, you know, she's doing it to get through college, or she's doing it, and we're trying to like put this like positive like thing about why they're doing it. But in this show and in real life, people do this maybe because they're trying to make a lot of money for like college or something, but people also just do it as a career. I had a friend one of my friends who was a stripper, she was a stripper just to make some cash so she could move. Another one of my friends who was like a more explicit sex worker, that was just her career. That was what she was doing for as long as she could plan what she was doing. And you know, like I think it's really nice that we get past this whole idea that like you have to be stripping or you have to be doing sex work for some sort of like altruistic reason. You can just do it as a career if you want to.
Yeah. I also just don't think we ask anybody else why they do anything, right? Like if my dad was a security guard and nobody's like, oh, you know, he's a security guard because he needs to pay the bills for his family, or because like he likes helping people at the nursing home, keeping them safe. Nobody like analyzes other people's career choices, but like for sex work, it's like, yeah, you know, like what my mom says, mind your own beeswax, and I just think generally that should be everybody's advice.
Yeah, definitely. And like, so with some jobs, I feel like people maybe not ask why you do it, but like they put like a lot of like stuff onto your job, right? Like I used to work in like group homes, and people would always be like, "Wow, you must be such a great person for working in
You're
a group
such a
home.
hero, Liam.
Such a hero." Yeah, I'm like I don't think that, and like I never thought of myself that way. Like I just really, I did it paid right, and I needed a job. I was in college. It worked great for my college schedule, and I did enjoy it. Like I liked working with these individuals. I loved like interacting with them and taking them for rides and stuff like that. But I never thought like, wow, you're such like an amazing person for doing this, Liam. Same thing with that Planned Parenthood. I never think like, wow, you're really changing kids' lives, Liam. I just think like these kids are fun to work with, and hopefully they like get something out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to teachers college, and people are always like, why are you becoming a teacher? And it's like, well, I like teenagers and I want summers off. And I think people like look at me because I'm saying because I blatantly say I want summers off, but like I'm not trying to be a hero. I like kids, and I also like the idea of having 2 straight months off of work every
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could have 2 straight months off of work. I'm happy with like 10 days.
Yeah, right. One of the interesting things in your article, I think, was that it tells it from like the female perspective. So it's like, okay, there's a lap dance, and every lap dance scene in any movie has always been from the male or the person receiving the lap dance. But this show, it's all from the perspective of like the sex worker themselves, which is very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. For like when they were talking about that this lap dance scene, they said like, you know, we try to focus on like her facial expressions and what she was like, so you could like see what she was thinking almost, and focus on like her feet and in the high heels, so you could kind of like see like what sort of like pressure and trauma goes into like the physical trauma that goes into these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And have you ever gotten a lap dance before?
I don't think so. No, I
So
don't like people touching me.
Yeah, me neither. I love going to strip clubs. I like watching the performers perform and everything like that. And I always think like you should tip them because you're there and you should support them. But I have such a hard time tipping them because of like how like not aggressive, but like how like in your face they are, right? Like they like grab your hands and like put them all over there, like they'll grab your face and stuff. And thankfully now with COVID, I feel like I would enjoy strip clubs much more because I think they have like a box you put your dollars in. But with the lap dance, my brother-in-law, he likes lap dances, but he doesn't like to do them alone. I think he feels maybe more comfortable or something doing with people. So he always pays people to do couples lap dances with him. So I've had a few with him, and they're just very uncomfortable. Like, I have no idea what to do when I'm in them.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what I would do. And I mean, I just don't even like being touched. So the idea of like mutual, it's just too much for me.
I do. So when you go to strip clubs, do you like to look at the like men at the strip clubs and think about like what they're experiencing?
That's a good question. I think I'd be too worried about making them feel bad about themselves because people feel bad being in strip clubs, right?
Yeah.
I just think it's so much fun. I think it's like great and like a fun adventure. I try to go on my birthday if people will go. I don't know.
So yeah, like I like going to them. I think they're really fun. But I think, as a straight woman and as a gay man, we experience strip clubs in a much different way. So when I go to strip clubs and I see other men there who are obviously straight or like at least hetero presenting, I always wonder like, what is the strip club experience for you? And like they'll say something to the stripper, and I'm like, what are you saying to them? Like, how does this make you feel? And not in like a negative way. I'm just like really curious about it.
Yeah, because like that they're not actually interested in you, right? Like it's like a performance. So it must be really hard to like manage that feeling. Yeah. Also, if I had a penis, I wouldn't want to get an erection in public.
Yeah, again, yeah. Like, wouldn't that also be awkward? Like we spend like our whole entire like middle school and high school careers trying to not get erections in public, and then you go to a strip club.
It must happen all the time.
Probably.
Yeah. I think I might try to see if I can access Stars to watch this show.
Definitely. I think it's on like Hulu, maybe Stars. So maybe they get like a package deal.
I also thought it was interesting. They said that a lot of times when there's strippers in shows, it's like to make a boring scene more interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that's 100%. Like if you watch a Law and Order episode where they're strippers, it's always to like make like a weird plot story like more interesting, or like The Sopranos, like, or The Wire. Like it's all just truly like, oh, here's an whatever scene, but there's nipples in it. So like we're so thrilled now.
I think Game of Thrones did it like the most gratuitously, where they would like whenever there was like a boring meeting they were having, it was always like a boring meeting with prostitutes like slobbing on knobs and stuff like that.
I didn't realize there was sexual behavior in Game of Thrones.
You didn't realize there? Have you never watched like any episodes of Game of Thrones?
No, I thought it was like a mythological. I thought it was like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings with dicks.
I had no idea. I truly thought it was like elves and stuff.
Oh my! So no, I mean, there's like elf-like creatures, but no, it's mostly just like every episode has like sex in it. Like the first episode, there was just full frontal dude wiener.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I knew there were dragons, and that's all I know.
There were, but I think naked people were much more the front plot.
Do you have anything to add about your article?
I don't think so. Let me check my notes real quick. Nope. What about your article?
My article wasn't really an article if you look at it. I'm just going to pull up the link so I can refer to it. It was really, so it caught my headlines because it was the sexiest cities in America. And I was like, yeah, I need to know what this is. And then it turns out that it was really just a list of where this vibrator company is selling the most merchandise. And then I was like, okay, I'm still kind of interested in that because I would like to know, I guess like it must be a pattern, right? Maybe that's what it is for every city. And so according to this article, the sexiest cities in America were Atlanta, Georgia, Orlando, Florida, Washington, D.C., Salt Lake City, and Nashville. I would not have guessed a single one of those.
I would have guessed Atlanta.
Maybe Atlanta. Okay, yeah, I'll give you Atlanta. But Orlando, Florida.
Or Salt Lake City? Like, isn't that where like the Mormons are from?
Yeah.
Getting a
And
lot
so
of
this is a list of cities with over 150,000 people, just to be clear. So like if the great city of Niagara Falls, it would not be in this category.
Niagara Falls doesn't have 150,000 people.
No, Niagara Falls is about 48,000.
Oh my god.
But here's the real question, Liam. They have a second list. Did you read the second list?
What's the second list?
The second list was the list that includes the smaller cities. And so I'm scrolling down. So if you live in a smaller city, they have a second list, which is the sexiest smaller cities. Guess what Western New York City, this is 644 cities. Guess what city is in the top 40 in Western New York? Just like think to your head, like what city in Western New York do I think bought the most vibrators from pinkcherry.com?
I don't know. Is like Rochester part of Central New York?
No, let's say only 716.
Only 716. Okay. I don't know. Ellicottville?
No. Cheektowaga.
Cheektowaga. I can see that. There's some funny people down there.
Cheektowaga is 29 out of 644. It is the top ranking city in New York State, besides Albany, for buying vibrators from pinkcherry.com.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
That's interesting.
I just can't believe it beats like New York City, but it must be per capita. It must be per capita. Niagara Falls is nowhere in this top list. Oh. So I looked it up. Where is Buffalo?
Buffalo's number 56. Yeah, 56. But what I found interesting is no city in New York State made the top 50.
Including New York City.
Including New York City. Which, so again, I bet it is per capita. And because New York City has 8 million people living in it, you know, that's a lot of people. A lot of old people too.
That's true. But, so
not that old people don't use these devices.
My question to you, Liam, is what do you think should qualify for a sexy city if you were making a list of sexy cities?
I don't know. Sexy is such a, you know, term that can mean so many things. Maybe like, you know, what city, I think you have to be more specific, right? Like what city watches the most amount of porn per capita? Or like hours of porn per capita or whatever. What city watches like the freakiest kinds of porn? Not that there's any freaky porn, but like kinkiest kinds of porn.
Yeah, no, the more interesting types.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You know, Pornhub.com does provide those statistics.
They do. I read their yearly report.
I love their yearly report. Yeah.
It's really
I was looking it up the other day to see if there was more Hamilton porn since Hamilton came out.
Any luck?
No, there's not. I thought there'd be like a huge amount of, because remember when Area 51 became a thing, like storming Area 51?
Yeah.
Well, when that came out, there was like a huge influx of alien porn, so I thought there was going to be more Hamilton porn, but the search results were not great.
I must not be using Pornhub right then, because like I never see alien porn or any of these kind of things on Pornhub.
You're not looking in the right categories.
I guess not. I gotta deep dive into my Pornhub.
I just searched Hamilton into the search.
I'm worried about typing stuff into the search bar because like the titles of their videos often don't match what's actually happening in the videos. And I'm like, this is not what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, it makes me think that if people were to search the history, it would suggest that I do things, I'm interested in things that I'm not interested in. Because you're right, the titles are completely wrong.
Yeah.
It's just to get you to click. But I don't know. I would say like sexy, like I thought Miami would be in there, right? Because like there's beaches and clubs and like But Miami isn't even in the top anywhere.
No.
Yeah,
But maybe,
Miami is 19.
maybe,
St. Louis, Missouri beats Miami.
well, so, I mean, think about the cities that we're talking about. Maybe these cities, like, and think about how we're defining them. We're defining them as, like, buying sex toys. So maybe, like, Miami people are just, like, straight doing it. They don't need sex toys. In Buffalo, we're too poor to afford sex toys, so we just have, like, sex. We're Rust Belt.
Or we just go to Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah, go to Spencer's Gifts and get our, like, $5 clitoral stimulator.
It is also, I'm curious if there are just more porn stores in these places. Like maybe there's just more vendors.
Yeah.
I've actually never heard of this company. Have you? Pink Cherry?
I have not. I actually hadn't heard of one of their devices, the oral sex enhancer. So I had to, like, click on it to see what it was.
I'm going to click on it right now.
Yeah, because, like, I had never heard of, like, I've heard of, like, you know, pussy pockets and fleshlights and things like that. But I've never heard of an oral sex enhancer. It's kind of like a fleshlight kind of thing. It has, like, a silicone, you know, strap kind of thing that you lube up, you put over the shaft of the penis, and as you're performing oral sex, you kind of use this instead of your hand.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can't see a picture. What am I looking at here?
Oh, your computer must be real slow.
Oral
there's a picture.
sex enhancer.
There's, like, little tentacles on the inside that kind of, like, stimulate the penis too. It looks really interesting.
I wonder if these places also have oh, very interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of this in my life. And now my search terms is going to show this.
So that's always the good thing about working with Planned Parenthood is we can just be like, oh, that's part of my education.
I mean, that's true. Like if my computer has Pornhub.com, it's not for personal reasons.
It's not for personal reasons. It is just because I'm researching stuff for work.
Yeah. The other places that I thought would be more sexy are places that have like more, I guess in my head, I'm thinking it's like more opportunities to engage in sex. So like maybe like Vegas, right? There's like anything happens in Las Vegas, right? Yeah. But I think you might be right. It's because there's so much opportunity in those places that like Las Vegas is 40. Knoxville, Tennessee is ahead of Las Vegas.
I mean, how many people are buying sex toys in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah, I fell for clickbait is the point of this article because I thought it was going to be some interesting articles about where people could go to be like super sexy, and it turned out to be just about like vibrator sales.
They got like figure out like top 10 cities to like get your rocks off.
I'm sure that exists.
Oh, I'm sure. BuzzFeed has that list. Or it has a survey that you can fill out to figure out where to go have sex.
I just did a survey of what snack I am, and I am cereal.
Oh, a cereal snack?
My husband eats cereal as a mid-afternoon snack. So Pink Cherry also released another article, which I clicked on, that says that since COVID, vibrator sales have spiked 248%.
Wow.
I mean, it makes sense, right? But that's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah. But I mean, yeah, people can't like go out and get stimulated, so they're staying home and stimulating themselves.
They did say a lot of it is stuff like vibrators that you use from afar. So like, if you had one, I could control the remote right now and control your level of pleasure if that's the relationship that you and I had. And so those are like a good seller right now.
Yeah, I always see those on my Instagram. So my dog just got home from his walk, so he's about to be all up on me.
I thought maybe you were like, Lynn, that's disgusting.
No, I mean, if we have that kind of, he's all wet. I don't know why it's not raining out.
Maybe he's sweating like I am. It is hot.
Yeah.
But don't you think that's an interesting idea? Like, oh, we can't be together, and so I'm going to control the level of vibration in your underpants.
So actually, I've seen people use these things, right? Not in real life, but like on commercials and stuff. But they don't usually use them in that kind of way. Usually when I see people use them, it's like they're like out to dinner, and it's kind of like this, what's it called? When you're doing stuff in public, voyeurism or whatever.
Voyeurism, yeah.
But is that voyeurism sounds like a bad word though? Is that like
exhibitionist?
Exhibitionists. I feel like voyeurism is like not a PC anymore.
I mean, I think nobody wants to be a voyeur.
Yeah. But maybe that makes them, maybe that dirty terms make them sexy.
But yeah, so you're saying that you see them, or like when you're near each other and you want to like tease each other.
Yeah.
I just don't like the idea of like, I'm like kind of bossy, right? Like the idea that at any point that this might happen outside of my control makes me just want, like, this is uninteresting to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right now, Jay, if you had it, Jay could just like mess with you while we're making this video.
So Jay, while we were making this video, came upstairs and was dancing, trying to distract me.
See? And if he had one of these things, I'm sure he would do that.
Although I'm not really sure how they would work with like anal stimulation.
Yeah, it would probably be a little uncomfortable to keep it in all the time.
Yeah, that, and like I don't know like how vibrating feels in the anus. I've never like done that before.
Well, maybe now is time. Maybe you can bring up the percentage to 249%.
Yeah, I mean Jay is moving back down to Memphis, so maybe we can do it from afar.
I don't understand how the technology works. Is really my confusion. Like, is
Wi-Fi?
it some like? So you both have to be on Wi-Fi?
So I mean, I've seen ones that like connect to your phone, so it either connects through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. But I wonder like if the device connects through Wi-Fi, not Bluetooth, wouldn't you have to have like a monthly payment plan to pay for the Wi-Fi?
Well, and the distance just seems like my remote control, my remote car opener doesn't work from that far of a distance. I just don't understand the technological part.
Me neither. I think if it's Wi-Fi, it might work.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't understand. I'm not good at technology. You should test it out though and let us know.
Okay, I will.
This company, by the way, has 7,000 products.
Really? Should check out all 7,000 products.
Doesn't seem like a lot.
It does kind of, but I don't know. There's like so many things to do, and they're probably like there's like just looking at the few they were showing. There's like a clitoral sucker, and then a mini clitoral sucker. So.
Right, and one in pink,
like
and one in white, and one in purple. But still, 7,000 is a lot.
Yeah.
I do wish they would tell us how much money was sold in each place. Like, I want to know how many people in Cheektowaga, how much money in Cheektowaga has been sold.
And also, it must be online though, because they're definitely not in Cheektowaga, and I can't imagine they're in like Salt Lake City.
There is Pandora's Box XXX.
And they sell them at Pandora's Box?
No, but I think that's a big porn store in.
That's not Cheektowaga. That's in South Buffalo.
I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Because I think it might be. I drive past it when I go to the mall.
Really?
Man, the Wi-Fi here is so slow. You're right. It is in Buffalo. Okay, I was wrong.
Yeah, South Buffalo.
The pictures when you look up Pandora's Box is like a picture of a nice bedroom. Like this is where you might use these items that we sell.
I've never been to Pandora's Box. I've been to several other ones in Buffalo, but not Pandora's Box.
I've never been to any of those types of stores.
Really?
Yeah, not for any reason. I've been to Spencer's Gifts. Does that count?
Nope. All right. Anything else you want to say about sex toys?
No, but I will say that I don't agree with this list, and I feel like I was taken advantage of.
I don't agree with this list either. As soon as I read that it was where sex toys are sold the most, I was like, that's not sexy. Because, like, anybody can buy sex. Not that anybody is not sexy, but, you know, it has nothing to do with sexy. Just to do with, like, who's buying sex toys.
Yeah. Also, it actually might be the opposite of what's sexy, because if it might be that people are engaging less sexually, right? If they're masturbating more.
Yeah. I like the list of like Pornhub when they do their list of like what porn certain countries watch, and like the Middle East is watching like some like real kinky porn, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, or like the South, one of the most popular search terms is like stuff you would just never imagine, and I'm like, oh, I see what you're up to down there. You're pretending like you're like super conservative, but you're looking up the weirdest, not judging stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the most conservative places have like, I feel like the kinkiest porn searches, because they don't have the ability to just like think about it in like real terms.
I'm always shocked at how high anime is on the list of search terms.
I'm not. Boys love anime. Not just boys.
Yeah.
Men
but,
in general, like dudes in general.
Top five search?
Yeah. Hands down, definitely. I follow like a bunch of like geeky stuff online, and there's a lot of like not weird. There's a lot of like no weird. There's a lot of weird cartoon porn on these sites, like, and you can do. They can explore situations that would be inappropriate to explore in other sorts of mediums.
Yeah, that is true. I've never thought about looking for it personally, and so I was shocked. I'm always surprised.
Yeah, I mean, Pat really likes anime. Maybe that's his kind of.
My husband does really like anime. He's probably watching anime right now.
Probably. And when you're a teacher, you can watch anime all summer.
I'm getting a pool.
Okay,
Thanks, Liam. I'll talk to you next week.
Yep, thanks everybody for watching. Talk to you all soon. Bye.